Kerry was a great guy, really, really good guy. Funny, self-deprecating, knew the business very well, and he was a beast in the gym. I credit him with really getting me to look more like a main eventer because you couldn't go to the gym with Kerry. And I mean, you were there for 45, 50 minutes, and I mean, you were going, pushing hard, heavy all the time. He, at one Christmas party, my ex-wife and I were at, and he had his wife Sandy there, and he introduced us 13 times to his wife. And by the third time, she's going, "Hi, Troy. Hi, Carla," and he's not even paying attention. He just kept going, sort of like humorous at that part of Kerry. But when he killed himself, when he committed suicide, when I heard that, it really threw me because he had spoken about that. We had, when you're in cars as long as we are on the road, we'd had these conversations umpteen thousand times. And he would always say, "Can't do that, Shane. Can't do it. God says, can't do that, man." And so when he did, it's like I tell people, I hope the fans, when they hear me say this, it's not in any way meant to be funny, but his was not a cry for help. You put a 44 Magnum to your chest and pull the trigger, you're intending to leave. And the fact that he must have felt that hopeless for any of my friends that have died by their own hand. There's so many fake friends in our business, but each of us have those close friends that we can intimate with. And it breaks my heart that Kerry didn't feel that he could have reached out to a myriad of people that I'm sure he was friends with over the years. And you just, again, knowing him, you sort of put yourself as best you can in that position and thinking that however bad it is, it can't be that bad. And so for anybody out there that's listening, the little PSA here that begins to have these types of thoughts, please reach out to somebody. Please get some help, because I can assure you things on the other side are always much, much better, and things do get better. So my understanding from Kerry was that he had explained the pills, because we'd be in the car and I would say to him, "Kerry, you're got to be careful with those. We know what happens with that, and he would say, and when he realized I knew his foot was gone, because he would never undress near any of the boys. We would drive the building together. We'd walk into the building, and Kerry would always go some opposite way away from the dressing room. And, you get in the dressing room, you drop your bag, you say hello to everybody, you settle in. It's probably 45 minutes to an hour before you're really done, dressed, gear, ready to go. Kerry would go around the corner and seemingly, like in less than 5 minutes, come into the dressing room and he'd be completely dressed. He's just in blue jeans and a polo shirt or something. Now he's in all of his gear. And to this day, I don't know how he did that. But it seemed to me that, because the argument then was it's fused, it's gone, it's fused, it's amputated. And I always thought, if he doesn't want to talk about that, it's not my point to pry. And when like I said, we roomed together quite often, I would always make noise at the door coming in, and he would always be covered up. We were in Los Angeles, and I had gone, and my brother worked in Hollywood. I went and did a reading for a role, a woman named Boots Hart, whose father had done 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. We went and ate, and afterwards came back, and I made the typical noise at the door. And when I opened the door, I froze, because there was the stump hanging off the bed. Oof. So I closed the door quietly again, made noise again 2 or 3 times, and finally went to the bathroom and made some noise, and he covered up. Once he realized I knew his foot was gone, we had a lot of discussions about that because of the pills. And he said, "Shane, you don't realize what a shock absorber your foot acts as. Every step I take goes into my knee, goes into my hip, goes into my back. Every step is excruciating." And towards the end, he started getting popped for writing bad scripts. And typically the family would get a slap on the wrist and, stern warning, and, because of who they were in Dallas. The last time Kerry was told by the judge, "Don't let me see you in my courtroom again," and he was. And the judge told him, "I want you to go home, get your affairs in order, I'm sending you away," at which point Kerry went and took his life. So there were a lot of other outside influences on the family, not just Fritz. So again, that's going to be in the eye of the beholder. Each person that watches is going to come away with something different. And I'm sure there'll be some fans out there based on the movie that'll think Fritz was a devil. And there will be others, again, probably mostly from my generation, thinking, okay, dad looking out for his kids, maybe a bit heavy-handed, but I will add this, and then I'll shut up. I wouldn't father the way that he fathered, but again, nobody in this world gets to say, "Well, my way's right and your way's wrong." But it was at times tough to watch.